think of a life without Westeros? Can you think of a life without maps? Maps have become a part and parcel of our everyday life, and the government has drafted a new bill on geospatial regulation. While the intention is to keep our country safe and display the correct boundaries of the country, the bill also impacts individuals, businesses, and developers who use maps. For example, if you wish to build an application on top of geospatial data, you will need a license. Or for that matter, you will need a license to hail a cab service or to send your WhatsApp location to a friend. Activists and organizations have come out to campaign against the bill. You can do your part too. Visit savethemap.in to know how. I am going to do my bit. I swear it, by the old gods and the new. We spoke to Punit Soni, who quit Flipkart recently and talked about products and his next big plans. Thanks to folks at Beehive, one of the best co-working spaces in Bangalore.
Interesting question. I think I love Inbox quite a lot. I think Google's mail client, I think it's phenomenal. I'm a big fan of what DeepMind is doing. I think that's actually quite incredible. And of course I like MotoG a lot because I think it actually made a big difference in terms of how the ecosystem worked. Is it like the world's technology's biggest question in many ways? I think intuition has its place and data has its place. You can go with intuition, but you should back it with data at most point of times. If you can't really figure out any way to get data, then you're probably not asking the right questions. And so I think you should spend time trying to figure out what questions you're asking and see if you can back your intuitions with data. There is a place for pure data related conversations where intuition actually has no role, but for most part with products you will have some amount of intuition. You have a sense that certain things have to be done that way, but then acting on them you should get data. Without that, you might be more wrong than right most of the time. I think the one thing I like about the country is it's so deeply introspective. So many people ask me, what challenges do you see, what problems do you see, and that actually is a manifestation of the fact that people really want to improve, they want to get better. I think that in Indians, to some extent, one observation is that they are actually very introspective. Second is they're almost like a little bit too critical of their own setups. So to me, I haven't really, of course there are challenges everywhere, but I'm more excited about all the good things in the place.
So beer or whiskey?
Whiskey.
Steve Jobs or Larry Page?
That's a hard question to ask, but of course I've worked under Larry Page, so I really admire him a lot.
Data or instinct?
Instinct, backed with data.
Bangalore or SFO?
SFO.
Flipkart or Snapdeal?
Flipkart. My hope and goal is to start something of my own. The country's been incredibly kind to me. I've had a great time. We've been so happy being here and working with people and doing stuff. And if I have a little bit of time, maybe I can use that to kind of provide some input and help in any way if I can. I have some ideas I'm actually kind of mulling over. I think the right way to do these things is to just kind of let it slide for a little bit, and then these ideas become a little bit more concrete, and then you should go and do a lot of work on trying to see if the product market fit is there. In a few months I'll probably be more open to talking about specific areas that I'm going to work on, but right now suffice to say I have a small team of people that I'm talking to. We are collaborating on some interesting areas. When I actually go to Bay Area and spend time there, I will start doing some real product market fit, but till then I'll just read random books and do all sorts of talks and walk around and travel.
There is very little science to find the value of a startup. Different methods of valuation yield different results. Some companies also pick their valuations from thin air. While it was Flipkart's valuation that dropped a few days back, it's Zomato's turn now. HSBC Securities dropped Zomato's valuation by 50%, and there was a whole war on social media with VCs and entrepreneurs and so-called influencers taking different sides. But it's all about getting back to work and doing the right things. As Mahatma Gandhi or Naveen Bansal would put it, Sar jhukao aur kaam karo. Our featured app this week is VolT, that won the first place at App Expo this year.
So let's take an example for the word pacify. So generally pacify means to make someone calm or to make someone comfort. So through our app VolT, how we have made you learn the word is giving you the context around that. So the context in our app is pacify sounds like pasabhai. So that means to make someone calm. So now you can see that we have made you learn the word, that particular vocab, and that you will never forget in your entire life. And in this context, we have created these creative connections and memory keys around all the majority of the vocabs available in the English language. We have launched the VolT app in January, and this is almost 5th month we have just started. So within 4 months, almost 5 months, we have got 70,000 plus downloads. We have got 4.6 rating out of 5. In the App Expo that is headed by Google Developers Group, Bangalore Droid, that is world's second largest Android group in the world. And I got first prize over there. So that is pretty amazing achievement to meet so many developers and meet so many great people over there. And then this I have been doing managing with my current job, and this is the app is resultant of my efforts that I have been doing in the weekends and after office hours. We are planning to get more into different segregation of the words like GRE specific or GMAT specific or CAT specific or maybe management specific words. So these are few of the plans where we want to make a full-fledged platform for vocabulary learning, that where you will be learning vocabs quickly and that you will never forget in your life.
You gotta do a lean startup. Stop spending money on stocking up the fridge with beers. Guys, it's time to pivot. The idea that you implemented when you were high on weed did not work. Time to score some better stuff. You have a runway for only 12 months. You'll have to go back to your rotten IT job if you don't manage to do anything by that time. You're not blue flame enough. You're too old and your wife will kick you out of the house. Come after 6 months when you have traction. You suck at what you're doing. Stay in touch, guys. Don't bother to mail me. Here's a new cool concept, and that too a first in Bangalore. A startup hostel called Construkt opened this week.
If you see, most of the times when in the ecosystem, when you're growing up, you sort of get influenced very strongly by the neighborhood that you live in, the sort of neighborhood that you live in, the kind of school that you go to. Thinking your family has shapes you who you are, and then your thinking also to a large extent fundamentally becomes that. So here imagine if you've got 15 people living together who are all breathing and living the same dream and a passion of trying to create something. That sort of an environment is extremely congenial and very, very addictive. We're starting off with a hostel, and we wish to experiment with more things going forward.
The whole idea was to give that experience which was not existing in India, and Bangalore being the startup hub and the epicenter for all the action related to startups. That's where we want to fill the gap, the living gap. One which you are sitting itself is a tub which was removed from the bathroom of this house and thrown, and then we thought, why don't we upcycle it? And this has become one of the best places for everyone to hang around, work around, sleep. So one is that a lot of things that you see all around is all upcycled, as in thrown pieces. The pine that is being used for the chairs and the desk has been again the pieces that were not being ignored has been turned into a beauty where people can sit and work.
It is per bed, per night, per person. We're charging 850 plus taxes. But again, if you want to stay on a long-term basis, it is negotiable, because we provide various facilities like a self-catering kitchen. You can do your own laundry. You have the Wi-Fi, the most important thing as of now. A library and the whole community energy, convenience of Indranagar. You come in from Delhi to Bangalore and you want to know about an accelerator or another co-working, we can put you in touch. That's the whole value that we are giving through this startup hostel.
One of our fans asked this question this week. What is the benefit of registering a company in the US versus India?
So primarily we focused around couple of areas. One is, where is your primary market gonna be, the customer base and all. So if your major market is in India, then it is always good to have the presence in India. If you are thinking of going global or to minimum markets, certainly US helps. One, from branding perspective, since it's a large brand and there are better policies available, so it could always help. The second point that you should be looking at is, if you are trying to raise funding, then where your investors are gonna be based at. Now, although the large investors have a global presence now, for example, if you look at Sequoia and all, so they can invest in a US based company as well as an India based company. But at the very initial stage, when you are looking at angel or a seed stage, then small investors generally prefer to invest in their own territory. Basically, it's like having a presence. So if you do it in US, you can always have another presence in India. as your operations grow, or if you have in India, you can even do it in US. So we have seen both the cases. But as you go global, almost all the investors prefer you to be based out of US and make that as a parent company rather than.
In the last week's contest, we asked you to unscramble the letters to find this popular entrepreneur. The winner is Abhilash. Congratulations! You won a free service to summerproof your car, courtesy Carista. Here's this week's contest. Unscramble the letters shown to find a commonly used startup term. Tweet to us on @denture_capital with the hashtag contest07 and win Denture Capital original merchandise. So until then, Valar Mogulis and stay ambitious.